Welcome back, and on today's video we are going to, this little book video you're seeing here is what Ashtabula consists of regarding books and DVDs and CDs. However, the primary that we're going to be looking at is going to be a continuation of some higher sales from the other day, but more of a continuation of the higher media sales. Now, I'm only going to do maybe about 5 or 6 of each of the category of books, CDs, and DVDs, and go from there. And I'm going to try to recall where I got these books at. So this first one here is Christ and His Bride, definitely an older book from 1916. I got this at a Savers in Parma, probably $2-3. It was in absolute mint condition for being, the age that it is. So that was a nice book. I probably only had that for a few months. Another one that I got, this next one right here, the Sir Philip with Love. I got that at the Goodwill in Ashtabula of the video you just saw. This series, there's a lot of them that can sell pretty well. I think that this was either the last one. I'm not quite sure, but when I looked it up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely a nice book. Robert Jordan, Eye of the World. Forget the exact title of what it is, but it is now a Netflix series. So this is a revised first edition. So it's still very, very quality. If it was an actual first edition, it's $500, $700. So it just kind of show on what you can randomly find. This Scanner Darkly was an international sale. This is a book club edition. Another one of those that I got at, either way, you can see where that scuffing is right here. I peeled the sticker off, and that sometimes that happens. Is definitely on an order book, but somebody still paid $70. 60139 still went international. Robert Heinlein is a older science fiction writer, or science fiction writer from way older times, 50s, 60s, 70s, around there. This is a reprint, exact replica of this specific book. Now, this one is what threw me off in regarding this book, is if it was true 1963, whatever it should have been, there would be no barcode back here, right? And then the pricing, $21.95, would not be a 1960s price at all. However, I'll actually go back in here. The guy who bought that Charles Portis book, Atlantis, this is a conversation between he and I. So Nather X, or whatever his name is, he bought this book right here. So we were communicating back and forth, and he gave me the information. He's like, oh, no, that looks like it's a book of definitely going to be a reprint. So I was able to put that in the listing, and it didn't take long. It's still a $70 sale, and I still got more money for that than of what they would typically sell for, mainly because mine was in excellent, or it was in beyond good condition. This is another religious book. I got a handful of religious books from a thrift store down, again, in Eastlake. It was probably around this time, around January. That makes sense. Maybe maybe it was the end of 23. I got a bunch of religious books in boxes. It used to be like fill a paper bag, like a grocery bag. You could fill the bag for like $10 or whichever. So I'd put all kinds of tracts, pamphlets, small books, Bibles, all kinds of stuff in there. And I would go there maybe once a month. And they don't sell media anymore. Or they do, but they sell it in the big pallets and stuff. I have gone in there a few times. I'm like, no, we're not going to. This thing here is I had this for a hot while. No dates. Oh, no date stamp. Oh, no, not, okay. So this just shows the CDs. Everything else does not have a dates does not have a date stamp on it. So this I had for a while. They had sold before for more than double that. Nobody was biting on it. Some guy that went international as well. I think it went to England. The guy was actually a real snappy, smart aleck. So I was like, you know what? Take it, man. Take it. This is a study Bible, the fourth edition. I couldn't tell you if the newer editions or older editions or anything, but I always look up study Bibles. And for anyone who does sell books, Bibles can be quite proficient and profitable. If you don't believe me, you can look up some. Well, I'm sure you do if you're familiar with selling books. But look up Humble Lion or Humble Lamb or a combination of those, and look at the ones with the Jesus gilt. That's going to be an image, and the gilt is going to be like on the paper edging. It's going to be kind of gold, and it's going to be an image of Jesus. Those can be anywhere from $200 to $500, if not even more. So, and I picked up one of those Humble Lion, Humble Lambs, and it's been a couple years since I sold it. This right here, Fahrenheit 451. I got this in June of 23, right? So this has been a year and a half I've had this. And eventually it did sell for the $72. And that book was, the UR up here stands for unread. Like you couldn't even move the cover open any more than a half an inch. If it was read and red condition, it would have been for a little less. Now, as for these ones here, why these are not exactly in the price, I'm not certain. But either way, $50 book, $70 book. This one didn't take long to sell. 50s. This is a nice clock watchmaker. Yeah, watchmaker handbook. Again, I got a big box of books. Habitat for Humanity, and that was $2 a bag, and I just filled up a whole box, and they charged me $5 for it. And I still have some other book. I have a book of like the diamond mines of South Africa. That's like a $200 book. So this one was a nice come up on those, and some other miscellaneous ones. If you really want to dig around on my page and look at some of these other ones, so be it. The DVDs wise. Now, I went through, or these are CDs. I went through this multi-sale. Some X-Files things, both new, took a while to really sell, but I did get rid of the two of them. I had them both listed individually. Nothing took off. I put them up in the two, and I don't know how much longer it took. It still took a while for them to sell. Back at this, I just explained that. This is the second copy I have sold of this. So if you look in Terapeak in California Dreams, you're going to see probably 5 that have sold in 3 years. And the ones that you see with this exact copy paste, this is mine. Both of them were mine. And if you notice my listings for DVDs and CDs, I show the case and the disc out of it. So that's how you can kind of look and be like, oh yeah, that's his. I like to do that because that draws more people in to look at it. Because I like, oh, if he's showing the disc in the thumbnail picture, perhaps more likely, I don't know. But, I do quite well selling media. This was, and so the first one of this I got in Habitat for Humanity in Salem. And Salem is about an hour and a half from me. And the first one I got maybe spring of last year. This one I got at the Goodwill up here in Menor, and did not take long for it to sell, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They were... I'm not even going to go with whichever ones have been listed or otherwise. I'm at 9 minutes. And this Blue Thumb, this is Pointer Sisters. This is a very peculiar, random print of a CD that this, I don't even know what kind of envelope that this would be, but I was like, that's unusual. I looked it up. Nothing came up. Looked up on Terapeak, and one had sold for like $60, $70. Mine was absolutely mint with this little inner sleeve. Sure enough, it popped off. This was a dollar buy for this CD. This is the promotional radio edit CD. So all it had was the single right here, these little radio versions. So you can see the radio edit one is for promotional use only, not for sale. Oops, I sold it. This, I have a non-sealed version, which has been having a heck of a time to sell. I don't remember where I got this one, but I listed this, and this one sold pretty quickly. October 17th is when I got it. October 19th, 5 days later, 62 bucks. You're going to see a lot of 62 because I put things on sale. The way on how I do sales, I'll explain some other time. M Squad, 15 DVDs and a CD. Okay, so that's a DVD. One Tree Hill. Why these are coming up and so mismatched now. A gold, 24 karat gold. A UCD, a 24 karat gold CDs, HD CDs, SC CDs. Some of those can be really, really good. And we're going to get into just more random CD, DVD combinations, some Jimmy Buffett lot, and I've sold multiple Jimmy Buffett lots. I find a lot of Jimmy Buffett up here because I'm not too far from where I used to hang out a lot up in Put-in Bay. And then some other random $30, $40 CDs. Now we're going to go into some DVDs. And this DVD right here, this is one I got in, I want to say Solon, Ohio, or Twinsburg. I was holding on to this one for a while, but finally somebody came in and I got a nice $90 sale on this DVD set. I probably paid, well, they're $250. That one was probably $350 because it's $250 and then 50 cents a DVD after that. Every place is a little different on how they charge. These are DVDs in the previous video. This is a first aid DVD that I just didn't have did have a barcode. I think a different or newer version of this came up and it was 120 bucks. And I'm like, well, I'll buy it and see what happens. And sure enough, I got pretty good money for it. This Mike's Marshall Silver. Actually, the same guy bought this one. Another DVD that's by the same Marshall Silver, and then I shipped those two out, and then the next day he came in and bought like a $35 one by Marshall Silver. Jimmy Evans. Okay, so this is an audio book, but this is still a 10 session 3 disc, 68 bucks. This is the Anna Green Gables. So if you're looking at DVDs and you see Anna Green Gables, if it's not scratched up, especially if it has the insert, you're still going to get, for this one right here on the left, you're still going to get 20 bucks, give or take. So I happen to have all three, and they got that on a good little deal. The Bureau, I just sold these. WrestleMania, 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dwayne Rock, and a couple others. This was, find some older. I scanned most of all fighting, boxing, UFC, WCW, all these. I scan them all. Just never know what's gonna come up. Anything with these bigger names too. A Criterion Collection is another one of those that's very, very fun and interesting. I'm wondering why this total is so high, because these are international. That's why, because they pay the $16 to $20 plus their taxes. That's why they fall in this price range. So I'm going to say that this person paid $25, $26 more in between taxes and fees and everything. So, but Criterion Collection, yes, definitely. I always look at Criterion Collection. Some sewing. This one I only had for a couple days, maybe a week, and that was a 62 bucks. $50 for, and I have another one of these. This is a religious movie. Oh, time is done.